Hello everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and today I'm going to be answering questions from you guys. I have 10 questions and a bonus one, and if I have time I'll get to that, but other than that I'm going to go through them individually. So number one, how do you go about preparing for Nano? See, I'm a plantser or a hybrid. I really don't do much planning, so even though I have 2 new projects going on through Nano, which I'm doing at the moment, I basically do a plan at the end of the last 2 books, a few days before I start the new ones, and then I just jump right into it with character notes and all the rest of it, depending on if it's a series or a standalone, which at the moment the 2 I'm working on are both kind of standalones. So for that respect, basically I just need to chapter plan and character notes and I'm golden. Number 2. Would you ever do a live stream? I've wanted to take part in other people's live streams, but the problem is, with my conditions and stuff like that, I'm asleep by about 5-6 o'clock in the evening, and because of where I am in the world, the time zones mean that I'm never awake when people do live streams, and so I kind of feel like I don't have a big enough audience of my own to do a live stream in my time. So at the moment the answer is no, but that may change. Number 3. I know you started writing at 19, but how old were you when you first got published? How many rejections did you have to your name? I was 22 when I first got published, and I had, God, I can't remember how many rejections. There were a lot of them. I didn't get published through a traditional publishing agency the first time. I went with the Vanity Press, which you should never do, but I didn't know that at the time. And then after that I got noticed by traditional publishers, but it never worked out, so there we go. Number 4. Watching your day in my life, you don't have a lot of active time working. How do you manage to get so much done? So if you watch my day in my life, which I will link up in the cards, then you'll know that basically I work from about midday, 10 o'clock-ish, to about 3-4 o'clock-ish, which doesn't seem like a lot of time considering how much I get done. But what you'll also have seen in that is that I spent the morning editing, so if I have other admin duties I'll do those in the morning. Writing wise, I find I write best then. Sometimes it changes. It's usually between 10ish and 4ish, and yeah, that's when I write best. And then after that I'm pretty much exhausted and I go to bed. And as to how much I get done, I do it continually. Like I can write about 2,000 to 2,500 words a day, and then I will do it the next day and the next day and the next day, etc, etc. So that's how I get so much done. Number 5, how many drafts do you think you go through? I don't keep count simply because it depresses me. A lot of the time my first draft is not necessarily a first draft because I edit as I go, so sometimes it will end up being sort of like a 2 draft or a 1.5 or something like that. But as far as how many drafts it takes to get to the final thing, oh, that's a big question. I don't know. I don't think there is a magic number. I think that's what you're looking for, is a magic number of so-and-so goes through X amount of drafts, so I must go through X amount of drafts. And there really isn't a magic number. It takes as many as it takes, you know? That's just how it works. Number 6, you mentioned before that you rarely get writer's block. How come? I used to, years and years and years ago. I think since I became so focused on writing no matter what, I kind of like stopped letting writer's block stop me. I'm not saying that writer's block is something that you can just work through all the time. It's not. Sometimes it's not writer's block, sometimes it's burnout and stuff like that, and you must take care of yourself. But basically I generally write, even if it's crap, I will just write, and that gets me through the block stage as such. And from there I go back and I edit and I make it into something that works, and then I carry on. Number 7, do you think your disability influences your writing? If so, how? I would say that yes, more so in recent projects rather than the beginning. In the beginning I was terrified of writing disabled characters because I didn't think it was what anybody wanted to read. But this was years and years ago, before things like own voices and diversity and stuff like that. And whereas now I kind of feel like, yeah, people want to read this stuff. And in that respect, a lot of my characters have something either in common with me or they have a condition that I know a bit about. And yeah, it influenced my writing in that respect. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to write about people that are like you know, especially if you're in a minority, which I am. So, you know, it's good to have disability reflected in fiction. But as far as influencing my writing beyond that, I don't think so, no. Number 8. I love your Insta stories and all the updates, so here's a random question for a video. What are you reading at the moment, and are you enjoying it? I started The Vicarage Murder by Faith Martin and somebody else, but I can't remember who, last night. I just finished Found by Erin Kinsley. I think that was her name. I really enjoyed Found. It was a very intriguing book. And I've only just started The Vicarage Murder, so, or The Murder of the Vicarage. I can't remember the name of the title. But I'm enjoying it so far. I've read like 2 chapters. So yeah. Number 9. Do you ever worry you'll run out of ideas? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it really does worry me that I'm going to get to the point where I have nothing new. And it gets to the point where I'm finishing 2 books and I'm thinking, what am I going to write about next? But I have always come up with ideas. Always have. And if I don't come up with an idea, then it's not long until several thousand of them hit me at once. And I've never actually gotten to a point where I finished a book and not had a new idea. So I don't think it's going to happen. And number 10, how do you read so many books? I saw that you're up to a challenge of 200 books. I read a lot from like, we talk about my day in my life, from like 4ish till I go to bed, I'm reading. When I go to hospital and I'm waiting for appointments, I'm reading. When I'm at the doctor's, I'm reading. When I'm here, there and everywhere, I'm reading. I also read fast, but I also just eat books. I just love them. And so 200 is the most I've ever read in a year since I started tracking. In fact, the number I'm at the moment is the most that I've ever read in a year since I started tracking. And I didn't think I would get there. I thought I was set my goal to begin with at the beginning of this year to 120 because like my reading had slowed down, and then I set it to 150 when that got ridiculous, when I was so many books ahead, and then I set it to 200 when I completed it in June. So, but yeah, I don't know how I got to 200, but I'm there. And the bonus, why don't you take part in Camp Nanos but do the main one? The simple answer is that I do a version of NaNoWriMo every month, and when I take part in Nano, I generally don't join the Nano website. I probably should, it would probably be a lot of fun, but I don't, because I like to do things my way, and I just don't. But I don't do the camps simply because usually I only remember about them just as they're starting and I don't have time to get prepped, or I'm writing 50k or whatever anyway, so I figure, well, there's not really much point. I will sort of like watch vlogs and stuff like that and do watch other people and cheer them on, but it's never been something that's interested me. I don't know why, it just doesn't intrigue me, and because of that I don't take part. But that could change. So there we have it, my 11 questions from you guys about all the things that you wanted to know. If you ever have a question for me, all you have to do is send it to me on social media and I will either answer it there and then, or I will put it together for a video like this. Generally speaking, around the time that I'm recording a video, I keep them all, I hoard all your questions so that I can answer them in videos like this. So do you have a question for me? Is there anything you want to ask me about any of the questions that I have answered? Let me know down in the comments. But that's all I've got time for today. So if you want to support my channel, you can comment or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pick up Dying Thoughts 8th Ending, and don't forget to pick up Lights Out, all the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.